Hi there, my name is Onyx, and welcome to my channel. You know, most of our listeners are not subscribers, so if you like my content, and before you do anything else, please do hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you. Why do people cry? It's such a simple question on the surface, and somehow it keeps opening. Sometimes crying looks like a reaction to sadness, but it also shows up in relief, in joy, in frustration, in exhaustion. It can arrive in a quiet room or in a crowded place. It can be expected, or it can feel like it comes out of nowhere. One way to think about it is that crying is part of how the body regulates itself, not in a dramatic way, more like an ordinary built-in system. When something happens that matters, the nervous system shifts, heart rate changes, breath changes, muscles tighten or soften, attention narrows. The body gathers information and decides what to do with it. Tears can be part of that shift, not as a decision necessarily, more like a release valve that opens when pressure builds past a certain point. People don't always know what the pressure is made of. It might be grief, it might be tenderness, it might be too many small things stacked together. There's also the simple physical reality of it. Eyes produce tears all the time, even when no one is emotional. There are tears that keep the surface of the eye comfortable. There are tears that flush things out when something irritates the eye, and then there are tears tied to emotion, which seem to have their own timing. It's interesting that the emotional kind often comes with other changes. The throat tightening, the chest feeling full, that uneven breath that becomes a sob. Those details make crying feel like a whole body event, not just something happening in the eyes. And maybe that's part of the answer. People cry because the body speaks in more than words. When words are too small, or too slow, or too organized, the body can still express something. Crying doesn't always translate neatly into language. It can be messy, it can be quiet, it can be embarrassing. It can also be oddly precise, like the body has found the exact form that fits the moment. From a science angle, it helps to remember that emotion is not only a feeling, it's also a pattern in the body. The brain is constantly predicting what's happening and what it means. It links memories, sensations, and context. When something lands as important, the brain signals the body to prepare. That preparation can look like alertness, or shutdown, or trembling, or tears. Crying can show up when the system has been working hard to hold steady. It might come after the moment is over, when it's finally safe to feel it. That delayed timing can be confusing. Someone might think, why now? But the nervous system doesn't always do things on the schedule the mind would prefer. Even if no one intends it, crying is a signal. Humans are social animals, and our faces and voices carry information. Tears change the face, they change the voice, they slow speech down, they invite attention. Sometimes they bring comfort from other people. Sometimes they bring discomfort. Either way, they shape the space between people. It's worth noticing that crying doesn't always mean the same thing. In one situation, it might mean, I'm overwhelmed. In another, it might mean, I'm touched. In another, it might mean, I can't hold this alone. And sometimes it means nothing more than, something is moving through me. There's also the question of control. People often talk about crying as if it's either allowed or not allowed, as if it's a behavior to manage. But crying often sits closer to reflex than choice. Like laughter, in a way. A body response that can be influenced, but not fully commanded. That resemblance to laughter is interesting. Both can arrive in groups. Both can be contagious. Both can happen when tension breaks. Both can show up at inconvenient times. Sometimes people laugh when they're nervous, and sometimes they cry for the same reason. Not because the emotion is wrong, but because the system is searching for a way to discharge energy. Some researchers have looked at whether emotional tears are chemically different from other kinds. That idea is fascinating because it suggests crying isn't only symbolic. It's not only a message. It might be a physical process with its own ingredients, shaped by what's happening inside the body. The exact details can be debated, but the broader point stays: emotion is not just in the mind. It's distributed through the body. And then there's the personal layer. Every person learns what crying means in their own life. Some people grew up around quiet tears. Some grew up around tears that were punished. Some learned that tears brought comfort. Some learned that tears brought attention they didn't want. So later on, as adults, Crying can carry extra meanings on top of the original feeling. It can feel safe or unsafe, or both at once. That might be why the same tears can feel different depending on who is present. Alone, crying might feel honest. With others, it might feel exposed, or it might feel like permission to be real. The social context changes the experience, and even when no one else is there is still an imagined audience sometimes, a sense of being watched, even if only by memory. Crying can bring up questions like, is this too much? Is this justified? Is this embarrassing? Questions that are less about the feeling itself and more about how the feeling is allowed to exist. So why do people cry? Maybe it's because something matters, not always something tragic, just something weighty enough to tilt the system. Maybe it's because the body has a limited set of ways to process intensity, and tears are one of the most human ones. Maybe it's because crying is a bridge between inner experience and the outer world, a way of showing, even unintentionally, that there's something here. Or maybe it's simply because being alive is a lot to carry sometimes, and the body has its own quiet methods for making room. If any of this connects with your own experience, it could be interesting to hear what crying has meant in your life, or what you think it's for. So feel free to leave a comment with your thoughts. That's about it from me. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you have any thoughts, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.